Meghalaya, the abode of clouds, is a land of songs and music. The land where 700 million years ago existed very ancient metamorphic rocks, specially covering the eastern region known as Re-Hinyotrep, the land of the seven huts. Re-Hinyotrep, the land of the seven huts in East Meghalaya, comprise the districts of West Khasi Hills, East Khasi Hills, Rebhoi and Jaintia Hills in northeast India. Its history, culture and spiritual philosophy are testified by the megalithic culture. Monoliths spread over the hills and dales, valleys and plains have been erected since unscripted history, synchronizing with the Indus Valley civilization. The people whose language belong to the Australoid Mon-Khmer group have a deep-rooted belief that they belong to the seven huts, the Hinyotrep, who descended on earth through the golden bridge of Ulom Sopet Bneng Peak, to be crowned rulers of other creations of the divine, the animals, plants, birds and fishes, protected by the laws of nature. The golden bridge now symbolizes the bridge of the golden soul and heart in communion with their creator. Ulom Sopet Bneng Peak, meaning the navel umbilical heavenly peak, is shrouded in an aura of sacredness and sanctity, the repository of ancient wisdom and the fountainhead of deep philosophy, zealously guarding the spiritual belief, the territorial integrity, and the cultural heritage of the Hinyotrep people. As the forebears of the Hinyotrep descended and ascended through the golden bridge atop the sacred Ulom Sopet Bneng Peak, footprints are embedded in the rocks. Footprints of the elders and young and old that have left an indelible imprint not only in the rocks but also in the memory of each coming generation. It is from this period of time, in the golden age of innocence, that the megalithic culture of the Khasi people emerged, in erecting monoliths, in recording important historical events and religious practices, and also in memory of kings, warriors, and heroes. The monoliths therefore symbolizes the momentous events that have taken place along the passage of time. Today, people perform an annual pilgrimage paying homage to the divine creator and their ancestors at the Sanctum Sanctorum at the summit of Ulom Sopet Bneng Peak, 10 kilometers from Shillong, seeking the blessings of the creator for peace and plenty, and that their inner spiritual strength is refurbished to face the various challenges and trivials of everyday life. At the same time, expressing their joy in the traditional dances of young men and virgins attired in colorful costumes.
There are several kinds of rocks across the globe. In Re-Hinyotrep, if you are an expert in the study of rocks, you'll find that even if you are not an expert in the study of rocks, you'll find that there are differences in the structure of rocks. In terms of density of the grains that form the rocks, density, then the texture, even the color. So these monoliths that we see across Henhyeotrep varies in color, in thickness, means in hardness, and also varies in what you say in the grainy structure of the rock itself. In Cherrapunji site, in Sora area, also we see that monoliths are mostly made of sandstone, whereas in Nartiang, the monoliths are, most of them are granites. So in order to extract these granites or sandstones from the quarries, one must have technology. As I said earlier, that this is related to the metallurgy of the pot. The Khasi people have, this Henhyeotrep people in those days had that technology, that is iron smelting and iron manufacturing.
The monoliths assert the matrilineal and patrilineal aspects of the society. The menhirs representing the authority of the maternal uncle and fathers in a family, while the dolmens representing the responsibility of the mother, the custodian of the bloodline lineage, right from the clan ancestress.
And I was speaking of the significance of the monoliths, or this type of culture which is prevailing within the Khasi society. I think it may not be wrong if we go back to the core, to the basic clan, which is the nucleus around which every institution revolves. And it is around this core system that we also have the adherence to the clan system within the matrilineal structure. I think this is a very important observation which we can make as a society.
Monoliths are an eloquent expression of the distinctive Khasi heritage and the way of life. At this spot at Maoyong in the East Khasi Hills stands these ancient monoliths which have religious significance. Amidst these monoliths are the cromlechs and cairns, which are stone mounds where the bones of clans are preserved after cremation of the dead. One of these cromlechs is identified to be of the Swear clan, where the bones are being kept, which is still practiced during the present days. The trees and vegetation that grow in the midst of these religious stones are not destroyed. It is explained that the location of this cromlech, like any other stones across the land, is always midway, that is, from the lowest level to the highest point. These cromlechs, called Maoba, are also found to have been aligned facing the eastern direction where the sun rises, a direction which is believed that the soul traversed to its celestial abode and reach its eternal destination and home amidst the ancestors, including the clan progenitress and maternal uncles, to gain eternal peace in the portals of the house of God and partaking betel nut. The ease is therefore the sign of afterlife and the sign of hope. The cromlech is well protected by outer rings of stones, in protecting the bones from the wind and the rain. The stones are of granite, which are hard and secure, found in the vicinity of the area.
Monoliths were raised with great efforts and energy at the household, village and state level. And the erection of monoliths required a good deal of physical and other kinds of exertion to make them stand, to remain there over a long period of time, and also to provide certain messages, even in the passage of time, to that kind of events which have taken place when they were being raised. So definitely megalithic erections containing not only the menhirs or the stone pillars and dolmens or slabs that lie flat on the ground, and containing also other kinds of stonework like the cromlechs and cairns, where they used to put the bones of the dead, and also the other kinds of architectural style like stone beds, and again the stone basins, seats, stools, and bridges especially. They had a distinct meaning. Primarily they were intended to commemorate the memory of the household in the person of the maternal and paternal uncles, and also the ancestors of the house. And they were followed by a series of megalithic erections, like keeping the bones in the right cromlechs, transferring them from the simple cairns in the funeral crown, and also like the great festival which we call Tapmoba, which signalized the eternal union of the dead within the family. But some of these monoliths were also raised in commemoration of certain events, like the state formation, the beginning of the kingdom, and also like the beginning of the village as a kind of settlement, and also like beginning of the other institutions of the people. So definitely these megaliths, they had a variety of meaning they impress upon us. I would like also to tell you, the people prove that they are great masons. They could not be perfect architects in the modern light, but in the old-fashioned way, it showed that that a great degree of masonry was reached, in which they built stone walls, houses made of stone, and many other things like this.
Nongkrem village is one of the cultural centers of Hinyotrip, which was once the capital of the Khasi state of Hima Shillong, whose boundaries extended right up to the Brahmaputra Valley in the north, in which vast plain areas, rich in crops like paddy, fall within the state's boundary. This is one of the ornamental monoliths at Nongkrem, erected in the memory of one of the councillors named Ushirwat, who advises the ruling's aims or kings in the day-to-day administration. The elaborate carvings on top of this monolith represent a turban and other motif representing the characteristic of the person.